This stick figure channel called Franz uploaded a video just 11 days ago, and it's already sitting at 1.7 million views. What's even crazier is that the channel only has 5 videos total, yet it's already pulled in over 17,000 subscribers and more than 2 million views across the entire channel. And it's not just them. Take Accent for example. This channel started only 1 month ago. With just 6 videos, they've already gained over 22,000 subscribers, and their most popular video has exploded past 2.1 million views. Now, what's even more interesting is that all of these channels have one thing in common. They're using these stick figure visuals to tell stories, explain ideas, and deliver simple lessons. And right now, this format is absolutely blowing up across almost every niche on YouTube. Now, you've probably watched tons of tutorials on this, and most of them either push a paid tool or completely skip over the part that actually matters, which is how to keep your channel safe from demonetization while doing this. That's why in this video, I'm going to show you the full process using completely free tools. We're talking branding, scripting, voiceovers, visuals, animation, and editing. And throughout the video, I'll share the exact same tips I use to keep my own channel safe through this whole demonetization wave. But before we get into any of that, let me show you what we'll be able to create by the end of this video.
Raise your hand if you're actively avoiding something right now. Yeah, same. But here's the truth. Procrastination isn't because you're lazy or broken. It's just a simple mechanism your brain uses to escape temporary discomfort. You think you're saving energy, but you're actually drowning in future stress. Look at your recent history. Waiting never makes a hard project feel easy. It just shrinks your deadline until you panic. So try the 10-minute method tomorrow morning. Set a timer. Force yourself.
Alright, the very first thing you need is a chatbot. For this, you can use the free version of Claude, DeepSeek, Gemini, or ChatGPT. Any of them works perfectly fine. For this video, I'll be using Gemini. It's actually not about which chatbot you use, it's about how you talk to it. And for this, I've built something for you. I created this Google Doc with a ready-to-use prompt system specifically designed for the Stickman animation niche. The link is somewhere down in the description. You can also find it inside my free school community. Once you open it, just scroll a little down to the prompt section, copy everything there, and paste it straight into Gemini. What this prompt does is simple. It tells your chatbot exactly what niche we're working in, so it sets itself up properly and understands what we're trying to build. Now, once you paste that prompt in, Gemini is going to ask you for a source PDF. And this PDF is actually where the magic happens. Inside it, you'll find channel screenshots, branding references, transcripts, thumbnails, and image templates, all pulled from real channels already winning in this niche. To get it, go back to that same Google Doc and scroll all the way to the top. You'll see a link called Stickman Resources. Click it, and it'll open a Google Drive folder. Just click on File and download it to your computer. Now head back to Gemini. Attach the PDF you just downloaded. Type something simple like, "Here's the PDF," and hit send. Gemini reads through the entire document, basically training itself on what works in this niche before it writes a single word for you. Once it's done, it'll reply with "PDF absorbed." That's your green light. Now just type go and hit send. And just like that, it'll give you all the branding stuff like channel names, descriptions, logo prompt, and banner prompt. We'll get back to the branding later, because we first need to create our main Stickman character, since that'll become the face of the entire channel. Once we've got that locked in, we'll come back and set up the branding properly so everything stays consistent. For now, we'll move to video ideas. So just type next and hit send. This is where it gets interesting. Gemini is now going to generate 10 video ideas, and these aren't generic ideas. They're structured around what's already proven to get views in this niche. For this demo, I'm going to go with number 9. Beating procrastination is easier than you think. Once you pick your idea, we can move to writing the script. Gemini will ask you how long you want the video to be. You can choose anywhere from 1 to 10 minutes. And since this is a demo, I'll go with 1 minute and send it over. And just like that, Gemini writes a full script for you. Now here's a small trick you can use at this stage. You can ask it to rewrite it in a completely different tone. For example, you can ask it to make it more casual, or whatever fits your channel style. As you can see, it's the same script, but in a more casual way, which is cool. Alright, script is done. Now we need a voiceover, and this is the step where a lot of people make a mistake that quietly kills their channel growth. So pay attention here. You've got a few free options. For example, you can use Microsoft Clipchamp, which gives you unlimited voiceover creation with a decent range of voices. We've also got Google AI Studio, which gives you access to Google's own text-to-speech models. And there's also voicemaker.in, which is completely free to use. So yeah, you've got many free options, but here's the trade-off nobody talks about. Even though these tools give you unlimited usage and flexibility, flexibility. The voices usually sound a bit robotic or low quality, and that can actually hurt your channel, especially when it comes to audience retention and even monetization. So for this, I personally recommend 11 Labs, and I'm also going to show you a little trick I use to avoid any issues with YouTube monetization later on. Now the cool part is, 11 Labs gives you around 10,000 free credits per month, which is honestly enough to create maybe 2 to 4 long-form videos. But yeah, if you want to do this seriously, it's usually better to get a subscription anyway. Once you're in, click on the text-to-speech option. Now here's the first trick. Go back to the script and copy only the first chunk of text, not the entire thing, then paste it straight into 11 Labs. And the reason I don't paste everything at once is simple. If you overload the tool with too much text, the voice can start to sound slightly off, sometimes even a bit glitchy or robotic. You want your voice to sound as clean, natural, and human-like as possible. Next, switch from the V2 model to the V3 model. That's because the V3 model is significantly more advanced, and I'll show you how to use it in a second. For the voice, I'm going with a voice called Drew. Once that's set, there's one really cool feature inside the V3 model that I really like, which is adding emotional controls to the voice. All you've got to do is click on Enhance, and what 11 Labs does here is add emotional direction to how the voice should sound. As you can see, it starts understanding the tone, like when to sound more serious, more excited, etc. And the best part is, you can always keep or undo it if you don't like how it sounds. Alright, so let's listen to this.
Raise your hand if you're actively avoiding something right now.
Hear that clearing throat sound at the beginning? This is what I've been saying. This model sounds way more natural and human, which is really impressive. You also get a second voice version you can compare with, which is pretty useful. Once you're happy with it, just go ahead and download the audio file. Now, once your voiceover is ready, the next step is creating your character. This is actually where things get interesting. All you need to do is go back to your chatbot and simply type next. And when you do that, the chatbot will automatically start generating character prompts based on the script you just built. It'll usually give you a few different variations to choose from. The character you pick right now is not just an image, that's basically going to become the face of your entire stick figure channel. So choose it carefully. Now that we've got our prompts ready, the next thing we need is a platform that gives you free access to image generation. For this part, I've got a few solid options for you here. First up is Top View AI. Once you're inside, just click on AI Tools, and then select Image Generator. Next, you've got Meta AI. Just click on Create Image, and you're good to go. Another option is Google Gemini, using the 3.1 model for image generation. And finally, we've got Pipit AI, which is actually my personal favorite. Once you're in, just sign up with your Google account. Just click on Image Studio and select Nano Banana. What I really like about this tool is that it's not just for images. They give you free access to their video generation tools and a free video editing tool, which is a huge bonus. Plus, you have a free design tool with a bunch of templates and design features. Basically everything you'd normally use Canva for, but for free. I'll leave the link somewhere in the description if you want to check it out for free. Now here's what you do. Go back to Gemini, copy one of your prompts, and paste it into the tool. Set the aspect ratio to 16:9 and hit generate. Then repeat the same process across the other tools. Here's what the results look like. Meta gives something decent. Gemini is okay, but not great. And honestly, Pipit is the one that stands out the most in terms of quality and style. At this point, you can even go back and try different prompts across all tools to compare results and pick the best one. Personally, I think this white outline Stickman style works perfectly for our channel character, so I'm going to download that one. Now, when you go back to Gemini, it will ask you to choose your character. So in my case, I'll go with number 5. Once I select it, it gets locked in as my main character for the brand. And from here, I just type next again. For the next step, it's asking me if I already have a visual flow for this animation, or if I want the AI to take full control and build everything from scratch. Since I don't have one prepared, I'm just going to type design it. And this step is actually really important. What the AI is doing here is building the sequence of events for the entire video. So in my case, Gemini automatically splits my script into chapters of around 10 seconds each, and I ended up with 6 chapters total. They're actually really detailed and well structured. Now comes the interesting step. Generating the animated scenes. So what we're going to do is take chapter 1, pair it with the Stickman character, and generate the first video. For this, we've got a few different platforms we can use. First up is Google Flow, which gives access to the VO3 model. They usually give around 100 free credits per month, which is actually perfect for testing. So start by creating a new project, then upload the image of the Stickman character we just created. Next, switch the model from image to video. After that, choose the aspect ratio. Then, set the number of outputs to one video video per generation. Now I go back to Gemini, copy the prompt for chapter 1, paste it into Flow, and hit generate. Now here's another trick. If you run out of credits in Flow, you can also use Google Vids as an alternative way to access VO 3.1. So, once you log in, you'll land on this interface. From there, click the top drop-down menu and select Animate an image, then choose Landscape mode. Upload your Stickman character image, paste the same chapter prompt, and hit generate. Another option is Gemini itself. You just upload your Stickman character, paste the prompt, select the Flashlight 3.1 model, and generate. Now let's compare the results.
Raise your hand if you're actively avoiding something right now.
Yeah, same.
As you can see, Flow gives us a decent output. There's a slight artificial quality to the movement, but honestly, for free generation, it's fine. Let's see Google Vids.
Raise your hand if you're actively avoiding something right now. Yeah, same.
It also produces solid results.
Raise your hand if you're actively avoiding something right now. Yeah, same. But here's the truth.
But honestly, Gemini seems to give the best overall quality out of the three. So for chapter 1, Gemini wins. But here's the thing, that's not always going to be the case. And in just a moment, I'll show you exactly what happens when we run the remaining chapters. Alright, so now I'm going to do the same process for the remaining chapters. I'll copy each prompt and paste it across all the tools, then compare which one delivers the best quality. As you can see, for Flow, the result is not bad. It gives a decent output, but there isn't much animation going on. Now let's check Gemini.
Procrastination isn't because you're lazy or broken. It's just a simple mechanism your brain uses to escape temporary discomfort.
It's pretty decent overall. Even though the voice doesn't always perfectly match what's happening on screen, the visual quality is still solid. And now let's look at Google Vids.
Procrastination isn't because you're lazy or broken. It's just a simple mechanism your brain uses to escape temporary discomfort.
Honestly, I think this one performs the best out of the three in this round. So again, I'll repeat the same process for all the remaining chapters. What I'm really testing here is simple. Which tool can actually handle multi-shot sequences properly without breaking the flow? Now for the third output, here's what we get. Flow, unfortunately, drops in quality this time. It doesn't look great at all.
Waiting never makes a hard project feel easy.
Vid still holds up pretty well, and is clearly more consistent than Flow. And finally, Gemini.
You think you're saving energy, but you're actually drowning in future stress.
This one is actually interesting. The quality is noticeably better this time, and in this case, Gemini takes the win. Now, once all your clips are ready, the next step is editing everything together. For editing, I'll be using CapCut, which is completely free. I import everything, the videos, the voiceover, all the assets. First thing I do is drop in the voiceover only, then I start cleaning it up. If you look at the waveform, you'll notice some long silent gaps. In this niche, you actually want some pauses, but not overly long ones that kill pacing. So I just grab the trim tool, cut out those dead sections, and delete them. Now, I do this manually since this is a short audio, but if you're working with a longer script, this can take hours. So if you want to speed it up, you can use a tool like Audacity, which is completely free, and I personally use it for longer voiceovers. Once the voiceover is fully polished, you can start adding the videos one by one. Now this part is really important. You need to make sure you place everything in the correct order so it actually matches the voiceover flow. A simple way to stay organized is to number your clips, just like I did here. That way, you always know which scene comes first and which one comes next. Now sometimes, you'll run into a small issue. A clip might not be long enough to cover the full voiceover section, but there's a quick fix for that. Just click on the clip, go to speed, and slightly slow it down or speed it up, depending on what you need. Even a small adjustment is usually enough to make everything fit perfectly. Once everything is synced properly, the next thing you need is background music. For this, the easiest and completely free option I recommend is YouTube Studio. Once you're inside, go to the audio library. This will open up a full collection of free music tracks. You'll find different options based on genre, mood, artist, and duration, so it's easy to match the vibe of your video. Once you find a track you like, download it, then drag it into your timeline. After that, just lower the volume so it doesn't overpower the voiceover, and trim it to fit the full video. But before you export anything, there's one last thing we need to create, and it might actually be the most important asset in this entire video, which is the thumbnail. But before that, let's see the final results together.
Raise your hand if you're actively avoiding something right now. Yeah, same. But here's the truth. Procrastination isn't because you're lazy or broken. It's just a simple mechanism your brain uses to escape temporary discomfort. You think you're saving energy, but you're actually drowning in future stress. Look at your recent history. Waiting never makes a hard project feel easy. It just shrinks your deadline until you panic. So try the 10-minute method tomorrow morning. Set a timer. Force yourself to work for exactly 10 minutes. If it sucks, you can stop completely. Just open the document, clear one object, or type one single paragraph. Small wins accumulate into massive progress before your brain even notices. Don't wait to feel ready. Motivation is a total scam anyway. Act first to generate your own confidence.
For the thumbnail, just go back to your chatbot and continue the same chat you were working on earlier. All you've got to do is type next, and this is where it generates thumbnail prompts. Basically, it gives you ready-to-use prompt variations that you can directly plug into an image tool to create your thumbnail, which is actually really useful. Now, for this part, we're going to use Pipit again. Start with the first prompt, copy it, and paste it in. But before you hit generate, do this one thing. Upload your Stickman character as the reference image. This is what keeps your thumbnail consistent with your channel identity. And as you can see, the quality is actually really impressive. At this point, you can honestly just download and use it directly on YouTube. But since you've got unlimited generations, I recommend testing a few different prompts until you find the best performing thumbnail. And in my case, this one stood out immediately. So I'll just go ahead and download it. And now comes the time to actually set up the channel. If we go back to the very first output from Gemini, it gave us branding suggestions, like channel names and identity ideas we can use. So now I'll just go to YouTube and click Create Channel. I'll copy the name I want. In my case, I'll choose Better, Actually. Then paste it in here. Now that the channel is created, the next step is to brand and design it properly. For the logo, we're going to use the character we generated earlier. This is important because it keeps a consistent visual identity across the entire channel. So I click on Customize Channel, which takes me into YouTube Studio. From there, I scroll down to the logo section and upload my character logo. Next, we need a channel description. If we go back to Gemini, it actually gave us a few description options as well. And I think I'm gonna go with this one. So I'll just copy it and paste it here, then click Publish. And just like that, the channel is branded and ready. It already looks clean and professional. Now the next step is uploading our first video. So just click on Create, then Upload Video. Find the file you exported earlier and upload it to YouTube. For the title, we already picked number 9, so I'll copy it and paste it in. Then scroll down and upload the thumbnail we created earlier. And that's it. The video is live. See the consistency between the thumbnail and the logo? That's what we want. Now, of course, guys, the real key here is consistency. If you want to grow in any niche, you can't just upload once and stop. You need to stay consistent, keep improving your content, and refine your system over time. That's what actually leads to growth, monetization, and long-term success. And if you want to see more videos from my channel, just click on the video on screen.